Welcome to the Up and Over podcast, where a bunch of marks discuss pro wrestling, where everything's a work and their opinions don't even matter. Introducing first, the host with the most, coming live from his living room that looks like a guest bedroom. This is Casey El Gordo Gringo.
Fuck Corey Graves.
Oh, man. Alongside him, we have our Up and Over weekly tag team champions. Firstly, we have the man, the myth, the legend, the Hulk Hogan hater himself, Patty.
What's
and
goody?
we also
What's
have,
goody?
I don't know, the black metal enthusiast, old Cortland there.
Oh, wow.
Portland, man.
Wow.
Old Cortland there.
You changed it up on him, huh?
Le Padre. It's fine. I mean, he is a new dad, but I don't want to drive that
Padre,
home with CM
yo.
Punk drove his shit on.
That's
good.
Cortland's new name, dude. Le Padre.
Yeah, the Padre.
That's good.
El Padre and El
El
Gordo.
Padre.
Y'all are the new tag
Yeah.
team. We just figured that out. There it is.
Yeah.
And then we have, of course, the home run hitter, the Cadillac Cowboy himself. It's Big Ethan.
So,
And then I'm just Mike.
no big money? Where's the money?
Listen, Matt Hardy dropped it. I have to drop it. I
Yeah.
mean, it's tough.
Felt like that was
Yes.
coming.
Yeah, I'm just Mike. It's fine.
It's
Um,
fucking
Ethan-
Mike, I guess.
Ethan, I know that you wanted to discuss something before we jump into this fucking tragic situation that is this.
Great time that we're about to have.
Oh yeah.
So,
if
I
you
know
could
we,
spare us for 5 minutes, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, so we normally talk about stuff that's happened this weekend in wrestling. So I wanted to throw something out there that's a little change of pace from what we normally talk about. Because everybody knows I watch a lot of Japanese wrestling. So I wanted to talk about DDT for a little bit. For those who don't know, DDT is kind of where Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi got their start. But they've been doing some really good shit here recently. And this week, actually, so back in like 1998, Kenta Kobashi, somebody I know everyone knows, he had a stable in All Japan called The Burning. And it was him and Jun Akiyama and some other people. And obviously, it's a pun off the Burning Hammer and, you know, everything Kobashi was known for. Well, on Tuesday, so actually yesterday, they formed the New Burning in DDT with Kenta Kobashi's blessing. And Jun Akiyama is in it because he still wrestles, even though he's like fucking 60 years old. And he's still great. So they reformed it as the New Burning. And they made Tetsuya Endo, who is like a big guy in DDT, the leader. So I just thought that was really cool to be bringing, 2021 is crazy in wrestling as it is.
Yeah.
And for that to be going on over there. And then on top of it, if you want to check out DDT, they have a show on December 26th. And Minoru Suzuki is wrestling for them for the first time in 2 years.
Shit.
And he's teaming with Maki Ito.
Ooh.
Which that team, I never would have thought of it, but that's going to be fucking crazy to see.
Yes,
But
yes.
yeah,
Hell yeah.
So that's
There's
what's
a few things that I have jotted down for this week. I'm just going to run through them because there's not a whole lot to talk about. But John Blackjack Lanza passed away. So everyone in his family, we appreciate all the... It's hard to put into words how much he meant to the wrestling community. I really hope that a lot of people go out of their way to check out a lot of his work. Hacksaw Jim Duggins is cancer-free, which is a big win. Jonah is made an announcement he'll be working in New Japan Pro Wrestling. And he's also going to have an open door policy and pretty much jump wherever he wants, it seems, which is super cool.
He's also in the Battle of Los Angeles for PWG.
Oh, sick. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he got announced. Alex Shelley got announced. And who was the other one? I can't remember. But yeah, anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, super cool for him. Kyle O'Reilly and Johnny Gargano are saying goodbye to NXT, it seems. Who knows what's up for either of them, but they did their farewell Tuesday and a small one at War Games. Raw drew a new record low in demo and viewers this week.
Really.
Also, Jack Evans of AEW says he's being extorted by Mexico police over drug charges.
What?
That's Jack Evans.
Bro, that was the wildest fucking thing I've read this weekend. He was, yeah.
No, I'm not going to speculate on it. If there's anything else that comes out about, we'll obviously talk about it next week or possibly
thing.
Friday. at
Real
Pro
fast.
Wrestling Truth Reviews. Check that out.
Yes, sir.
If Jack Evans is being extorted, and I'm not saying anything bad one way or the other, I feel bad for Jack Evans. Ethan and I have a weird bond about Jack Evans. He is one of the funniest humans in the world. However,
he's in one of the craziest lucha matches I've ever seen in my life.
Right. There's videos of him falling down the steps in Lucha Underground, and it's my favorite thing. Like just in the background, just casually tumbling. I'll send it in the group chat. It's insane.
This man did a moonsault off of a cage to the floor in a tank top in 2004.
And a do-rag. And a do-rag.
And a do-rag.
But all I'm going to say is, and I don't want to have a discussion, I'm just going to throw it out there. Is it far-fetched that Jack Evans is in Mexico wanting drugs? Is that far-fetched?
No. That man.
We will find out.
He's out of his damn mind.
We should interview him. He should be our first podcast guest.
Yeah, we may as well bring Teddy Hart on, too. Yeah. Bring the boys on.
What's his whole thing? His whole thing is like cats, right? I don't know. He's a fucking weird guy. Kevin Blackwood was the other Battle of Los Angeles entrant.
Kevin Blackwood, yep.
Yeah. So just a few more things. Brian Gowertz announced that he'll be writing a book about his time as head writer for WWE. He announced that. So we can only imagine what's going to come up through there. Shawn Michaels has said that the NXT 2.0 is still ran by the Triple H team, and they're only going in direction that
the team,
Vince and corporate wants the direction to go, but all people are supposedly still in place. And
I'm sorry. Sean, shut the fuck up. There's no way you can take any. You're
making me mad.
You can take any. War Games just happened. Take any of the original. Take any of the Triple H for sure Black and Gold War Games pay-per-views and put it side by side with what some of us watched this weekend, and tell me that those are ran by the same people.
Oh, you didn't absolutely love War Games this weekend?
I watched, without question, one of the worst War Game matches I've ever seen in my entire life.
I didn't watch a single minute of it.
I'm gonna tell you, just because we're friends, I implore you to watch the women's War Game match.
No.
It
just
is.
Oh, are we friends if you're telling me to do that?
Because
it's important, right? Would you rather watch War Games from this past weekend?
Here it comes.
Or Insurrextion 2003?
War Games.
War Games, 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
This fucking pay-per-view that we're about to cover. The last thing that I wanted to say, Cortland, I don't think you have it written down.
I do.
I do.
I do.
Jeff Hardy was sent home this week from a live event. And I know that we do make a lot of jokes about drugged up Jeff Hardy and shit. But if this gets any, if it is as serious as previous situations, we just want Jeff to be healthy and happy. And if that means stepping away from the ring, if it's too much, for love of God, man, please step away. Take care of your family. Put you and your family first.
So much more important than this fucking.
He's given enough.
Yeah, seriously.
Above and beyond, dude. You've done
nothing
beyond enough. I actually just got the Jeff Hardy and Undertaker Raw ladder match set.
So sick.
As soon as I saw it, dude, I was like, I have to have this. It's my favorite match ever.
Speculation on it is it was an abdomen injury. Holding his stomach on the walk out. He's very
I heard that, but I heard the same that it was either like, oh, he got his bell rung and he knew he needed to walk away and get checked out, or like he had a nagging injury that got worse during the match. But I just want to touch note on, like, if there is a problem, if you know that you've had a problem in the past and you know that there's something that triggers it, stay away from it.
Yeah.
Because the only thing it's going to do is just hurt the people that care about you, and more importantly, it's going to hurt you the most. So best wishes to Jeff and Matt and their family.
Yes.
Yeah.
And hopefully we see Jeff Hardy get a world title run in the next couple of years.
Yeah, somebody just needs to hold this man and tell him that he don't need to do this shit no more.
Well, the thing that scares me the most is that it seems like anytime Jeff has ever gotten any, like, a jetpack put on him, you know what I mean? Like, anytime they're about to send this man to the moon, it's so much pressure that he walks away. And like, looking at the events that have transpired, like him being in the main event of these live events, like with Roman Reigns, them testing the waters on that, and him doing this, like Broken Skull sessions with Stone Cold, them doing a full, like, whole Peacock Network spread of Jeff Hardy. Like, literally the whole thing for a whole week was Jeff Hardy. And it feels like anytime that they start being like, all right, Jeff, like, thank God you're doing great, we're about to run with it, it's just too much for him and he dips.
Yeah.
And I just really don't want it to be the case, man. I just want him to be healthy.
Yeah. The other piece, we all love Jeff Hardy. I think that's a collective thought.
Yeah.
The other piece that came out, Dave Meltzer, and I'll take Meltzer's words for what they are.
Yep.
He said that the next in line after Vince leaves
Nick
WWE
Khan.
is Nick Khan.
Yeah. I was gonna write that down, but
yeah,
it like hurts my brain to think about.
Dude, it blows my mind.
What has Nick Khan done to earn this spot?
Dog shit
3 years ago?
The reasoning behind it was he was like, it's not just like it's a board decision. And I'm like, yeah, you're talking out your ass that the board would make someone that's literally just stepped into the company take over this, when it's like, oh, I don't know, there's like a
whole
fucking lineage of McMahons that would be more than willing to take over.
Well, I feel like a piece of it is everyone for years, like fans especially, being like, oh, Triple H, Paul, let it be Paul, let him take it, why not? And then it feels like they tested it with NXT, and then he had a heart attack, and now it's 2.0.
Well, it was.
Yeah, I mean, realistically,
they gave him.
They tested him, he failed it, and they were like, all right, what's next? And that's bored.
Yep.
Well, I don't even know if it's necessarily granted, he wasn't competing against anyone, but like NXT did fine for quite some time, and then Nick, we have like the Wednesday Night Wars happened, and there was like the bumps that went with that, but like also like I don't feel like anyone gave it enough time to really kind of settle itself. Yeah. They immediately pulled the reins, they threw them on to fucking Tuesday, and then it's like, yeah, he ends up having heart problems, and then it's like they just were like, all right, well, we're just gonna take it from him. Like he did fine for like fucking 4. I literally just to get my mind off of having to watch Insurrextion, I decided to watch NXT Arrival. So like the first official takeover. Yeah. It is the first live event to have ever happened on the network. Mm-hmm. It went live before it was like their test dummy before WrestleMania 30. Like that's how much everyone gave a shit about NXT. Yeah. And then look where we're at now with it. It's like if you just let the man do his job again, things will be fine.
I think it now. If you look at AEW right now, dude, look how much Triple H's fingerprints are all over that company. Look at all those people that are over there. Even if they were in the indies before, you can tell the difference between when they were in the indies and then when they came out of WWE and how much they progressed. And you know that it is 100% because they spent time with him and Albert and all these people that they have. And Shawn Michaels. I knew you were going to get it in there.
What did he say?
Shawn.
And Shawn.
Big guy.
I just mentioned Shawn.
Ethan,
what were you going to say?
I don't know. It's a lot to unpack. But, like, first off, I think NXT just lost its vision. It started off great, and then it ran. What's the face for?
I would disagree, but it's okay.
Well, my thing is, it starts off good, and then they ran the little formula that was working, and they ran it fucking dry.
Yeah.
And to me, that's losing what you were doing because you had something great, and then you ran it. You didn't take it and hone it. You didn't take your vision and hone it and craft it. Figure out how to work around pushing this formula you like the most and building your undercard around it. Instead, it was the whole card's the main match. Everything's the same. Go, 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 fucking go.
I think it's a combination of they wanted everyone to go, and then even though they tried really hard to tell everyone, oh, it's not a developmental system. It's its own product, but you knew every single time guy comes in, guy becomes champion, guy loses title, guy goes to fucking main roster. That was the same fucking thing over and over again. You had like the one underlier being like Gargano, like somehow Triple H was like, you keep that child down here. But then every single time they would go up to the main roster, something would go wrong with their character.
And that
they tried
best wishes.
They tried to get DIY. They did like a Raw with somebody, and then Tommaso Ciampa got injured in the match, and they immediately were like, go back to NXT, and then they just fucking
back down there.
turn around.
But like
healthy as can be.
But
probably one of the best he was in WWE, in my opinion, was right then in that moment. And they could have just let him have this little run mid-card U.S. Intercontinental Championship if he wanted. And I think he would have done great. Not taking away his work after that in NXT, because, I mean, it's fucking awesome, too. But, you know.
But yeah, it's like, to Ethan's point, though, it's like I felt like they were finally starting to do something back in like 2018, 2019 when they got the North American title. Or it's like, oh fuck, they're actually give them like a mid-card title for this and like kind of keep everyone down there. But then it was like they have two title, or they have like the next title, and then it's like the same shit was still happening. It was like you either got the North American title or you got the NXT title, and then when you were done with one of those, you just moved to the fuck on. Like you left. Like, and if they just would have kept it in house, I don't think we'd be having a conversation of who would be taking over at this point. Like,
yeah, it's like, is it developmental, or is it just like it literally was like WWE's indie? You know, it's like, hey, let's sign the indies, have our own indie, or you know, because to me, if it's developmental, you're wanting to. Admittedly, some of these guys are already seasoned, but everyone can use work, especially some of these indie guys who don't know how to do nothing but spots. But it didn't seem like they were ever fully groomed to be that main roster talent. It was like Triple H wanted them to be that, but Vince didn't give a rat's ass. He was like, yeah, Triple H, have your indie, you know, and then Triple H would get one or two in the door. Some of them would work. Some of them wouldn't. I don't think they were ever on the same page of what they wanted with NXT. And so it failed, you know.
All right, fellas, let's dive into this fucking paper. We had Insurrextion.
God.
From Newcastle, England. Go ahead, bud.
WWE Insurrextion, June 7th, 2003, Newcastle, England, at the Telwest Arena. And it was sold out. This was the fourth and final Insurrextion, 10,000 people in attendance. This is the first Raw exclusive pay-per-view after the Big Four, and is broadcasted exclusively in the United Kingdom under Skybox Sports. Following this event, WWE didn't produce another pay-per-view outside of North America until 2018.
Yep.
Damn.
Jesus.
I did not know that.
The greatest Royal Rumble was the first one in borderline 15 years or whatever the fuck.
What a shit show.
They must have knew this shit sucked ass.
Oh, you could tell going into this that they gave zero fucks about this event.
My favorite thing is the progression of the audience, that like as we get to the main event, you can almost hear them like, we got fucking duped for how much money for these tickets? Like, this thing fucking sucked. So
I don't want to cut off the intro that wonderful note man over here takes, but I had watched the Raw leading up to this. This is the Peacock version, so this is the Peacock version, so there's none of their commercials or anything. An hour and 21 minutes into that Raw was the only time they referenced the fact that they're even going to be in England.
Yep.
Not that it's Insurrextion, not that there's gonna be like it's a pay-per-view, like an exclusive pay-per-view event. They just go, oh, and by the way, we'll be this Sunday. We'll be in Newcastle, and then the entire Raw is just like, in 2 weeks though, we have an actual pay-per-view that we give a fuck about.
Yep.
It is. I was like, are they gonna bring it up once? It's an hour and a half long, an hour and 21 minutes in. They're like, oh, and by the way.
Yes.
Well, for that, we get a weird ass opening pay-per-view promo here, and the voiceover work made me audibly laugh because it was fucking awful.
It's like they forgot and they like pulled someone. They're like, hey, you, come here. Can you read this for me real fast?
it feels like Ancient Aliens is narrating pro wrestling. Like, it was fucking awful, dude. And like, there's even a wolf howl, and then like you see like a little skeleton and like a fucking. It makes no sense. Like, it's not Halloween. No. It's fucking June. It's June. But Austin,
the coolest part about this intro, that's the coolest part about it. Austin and Bischoff
presents Insurrextion, which was really cool. And JR welcomes us, and King immediately screams puppies as Trish Stratus' music hits.
Because Jerry
here we go.
I just want to.
Is a dog.
They were fucking on one in United Kingdom. They were like, "Oh, I drank the whole fucking flight here. I'm fucking round up." Like, this shit is awful.
It is bad.
I just mega horny this entire night.
Dude, it's so
mega
bad.
Horny.
I just wanted to note though that like the Insurrextion song, like, you know, because every pay-per-view's got a song. It literally just sounds like the like instrumental karaoke version of the band. You remember the band Bush from like the early 2000s? You know their song Machine Head? It sounds. I swear to God, listen to this song and then listen to that song, and you're like, it's the same fucking song. It's like. But yes, man. We literally, it's like the worst graphics and voiceover work for an intro of a pay-per-view, and then literally it's just like puppies. It's the fucking like he almost cuts off JR while he's doing the intro to be like, shut the fuck up.
He's been waiting on it. He was waiting on that fucking light to come on, baby.
Yep.
So
you're like, shut your fucking mouth, JR.
Like, fucking puppies.
This is for the women's championship. So it's Trish Stratus versus Jazz. And Theodore Long is with Jazz, of course, and he demands the crowd to give. Oh,
come on, Pat!
Dude, I've been waiting on this.
Theodore Long fucks up, and he says, because we all know Jazz's shit was the bitch is back and the bitch is black. That was her whole thing. Theodore Long comes in and he says, "Everybody give a standing ovation for the bitch is black." And I swear to God, dude, I rewinded this shit like 30 times, man. He's like, "Give a standing ovation for the bitch is black." Yeah, and I was like, "Oh man, this is amazing. This is gonna be a disaster. This pay-per-view is just gonna be
my favorite thing too is you see his eyes dot a little bit right after he says it. He's like,
"What the fuck did I just say?"
But he couldn't correct it. No,
I love how King and JR don't say anything.
No,
King and JR don't mention it. They don't comment. They don't say a fucking word.
Which is surprising considering who's doing commentating on this.
Yes, I'm shocked.
And speaking of commentating, the next thing I have written down, it was as soon as the bell rang, JR made a comment about, he's like, well, something like, "I hope you can only hope that her top comes off," or some shit like that. And even King was like, "Whoa, JR."
we have an unhinged, horny JR tonight, and it's
horny
fucking...
Jim Ross in fucking in overseas, crazy. This is
He was just saying some wild shit.
And the thing is, I think JR fed off the crowd because 20 seconds in, they're chanting, "We want puppies."
Dude, I wrote down, it literally is, it's bell rings, collar and elbow tie up, and almost immediately upon that lockup, it's just, "We want puppies." Like, it is, I was like, what the fuck is happening?
It's the loudest chant of the night.
It's that, and then them yelling at Earl Hebner. That's the only two things.
Yeah. Not to jump ahead. The only thing that I have written down, other than like a little bit of a breakdown, two things. Firstly, I'm perturbed, and I get it, right? Jim Ross, I'm gonna quote JR in a second, but I'm perturbed by sexist Jerry the King Lawler almost as much as racist Jerry the King Lawler. With that said, there is a moment in the match where Jazz has Trish Stratus and a Boston Crab And Jerry the King Lawler says she's a few inches from the rope, and she grabs the rope. And without missing a beat, JR says, and that's one occasion where a couple of inches did her all the good in the world.
Yeah. God.
Horny Jim Ross was unhinged
and to still just kind of go with it, because even like, once again, fuck Lawler, but like, even Lawler's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, even he heard it was like, god damn.
It was a mess.
Well, the rundown for this match, I'm going to try to break it down for you. It's a great victory roll from Trish Stratus. There's a long pulls from Trish's leg, allowing Jazz to get, or long, Theodore Long pulls Trish's leg, allowing Jazz to get the upper hand. Brutal crossfaces to Trish, while a convincing headlock is put in. JR says, I don't think Jazz has spent much time in the kitchen. Is what I have written down.
Dude, that shit had me weak. That shit had me weak.
Trish does a handstand hurricanrana, and also does like in a Matrix reversal style lean back, blocking a clothesline. Stratusfaction is reversed into a back suplex for a 2 count. Trish does a Boston Crab of her own and into an STF, but Victoria gets a run in. This allows Long to do the slowest cheat job I have ever seen in my life.
He was so kind about it, bud. He gets in. He's
okay.
Like,
if I could use that for a demonstration, he comes up to her and just does this, and then picks her up.
So for any
a long time to figure it out.
For anyone listening and that didn't get to see that wonderful demonstration, and also I implore you to never watch this collectively. Setting aside really fast, this is like one of my favorite matches of the night. But like, Theodore Long gets into the ring. He grabs Trish. So what's supposed to happen is he's supposed to grab Trish and throw her into the turnbuckle, like into the ring posts from the in between the second and third. He takes a fucking step, like goes and like kind of releases. Trish has to take 3 steps herself and then yeets herself into the ring post.
Yeah, it's the women's equivalent to Batista taking that back bump from like Mark Henry, I think it was. Like,
where he takes the 3 steps and fucking throws himself backwards.
Yeah.
I had to go back and watch because I was like, did I miss it? Like, it was a weird camera angle. No, he like takes a fucking half a step and just goes, okay, you're gonna do the rest. And she's like, fucking what? And she's like, oh fuck. And like she takes like 2 solid steps and like dives into that ring post.
And it doesn't do you any favors when you replay it over and over again and her shoulder does not touch it.
It's just
because she had no momentum, so she just I give her credit for trying at least.
Oh, I do too. But like, I don't give the dudes in the truck credit whenever they did a zoom up from another angle of outside the ring to at that corner, and it's like, dude, that just looked so bad. Zoom in on the negatives.
So this match real fast, it went 10 minutes and 45 seconds.
And what did it accomplish?
Yeah. And I'm just gonna say once again, it's one of my favorite matches of the night.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Because ultimately it's not a bad match. Like, they actually do a pretty good job. Jazz's Boston Crabs are pretty fucking bad, but like, other than that, like literally from Bell up until Teddy decides that he's gonna interfere at the end, like, it's a really good match. Like, I was like, kudos to these girls, especially for it being the first match of the night. And granted, we missed Maven wrestle in the dark match, so
I don't want to even fucking talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
Fuck Maven.
Carlin, what'd you give it?
I gave this one 2.5 stars. I enjoyed it. It actually got a lot of time. Especially for women's wrestling in this era. I think it's the longest women's match that we've watched as a podcast, I think.
Honestly, like when I was like watching it and I wrote down the time, I was like, so this is what we could actually accomplish if we gave them more than 3.5 minutes. Yeah. I was like, it wasn't that bad of a fucking match.
Watching this match, because watching this match, it did not feel like it was a 10-minute match. It felt like a solid, good match, and it entertained me the entire time.
Yeah.
The ending annoyed me. However, I was pumped for Victoria to just show up. They flew her all the way out there to tell just a little bit more of this story. So, I enjoyed that.
Pat, what'd you go?
I gave it 2, 3. I like the match.
2 and 3/4.
You literally said what I was going to say. 2 and 3/4. You literally said what I was going to say, Casey. Like, it was kind of proof of what we've been talking about for weeks, like what could happen if they actually got fucking time to wrestle this Trish Stratus and Jazz beef, and then we saw what happened. And it was a fucking solid ass match. Yeah. 2 3/4 for me. No complaints.
Ethan, you said 2?
No, I'm sorry. That wasn't bad.
Casey,
I feel
what'd you
bad
go?
now. Everyone had super positive things to say. I don't have anything bad to say.
Yeah.
I just was like, yeah, this happened. Yeah. It was good.
Kind of thing. Yeah. Casey, what'd you go?
I gave it 2 3/4. Like I said, it's.
Woo, y'all fucking swinging hard.
Well, like I said, like I was like minus literally the kind of the end there, and like I said, the couple of times that Jazz did do Boston Crabs, I was like, God, those are really bad. Like Trish's in the match wasn't much better, but like I was like, they're not the best, and they just kind of irritated me. But like I honestly thought, like, given the spot that they were in to literally kick off this pay-per-view, like they did a good job.
Yeah. I would have gone 2 1/4 if the finish didn't suck ass cheeks, so I went 2 flat.
Oh wow, we're on the same page. I think just to note, I think Jazz, this run she's on, I really love it.
Yeah,
so
I didn't remember it as much, but Jazz ruled. I casually walked by her in Florida one day. It was very odd. It was a cool. It was a wrestling thing, right? It
was the bitch back? Or?
It was super weird. Yeah, I should have asked her. I fumbled the bag. Moving forward, we had the Intercontinental Championship coming up. We had Christian, your champion, taking on Booker T. Christian is sporting the new look. He has officially cut his long hair. I have rest in peace, long-haired Christian. We hardly knew you on the podcast.
We're gonna play.
Racist King still lives.
We're gonna play a quick game, and it's how fast does fucking Jerry the King Lawler say something racist? And it's before the bell rings.
It's immediate.
It is so fast.
Racist King still lives, and I wish he would actually die. However, he did say one thing that made me laugh. He said, it's a tough neighborhood when you see 9 police cars on the block, and there's no donut shop. Pretty fucking funny.
I died.
Honestly. I have so many quotes from this match.
Oh, I did too, buddy. I didn't go the racist Terry Lawler route, though. I went Jim Ross route.
Oh, yes.
Here it is. What you gonna do, huh? Go home and change your diaper? That's JR.
I love how all of these quotes come with no context. It's my favorite fucking thing. I gave you guys the exact setup for my quote with Jim Ross reaching for the rope. She grabbed it. I could have just said, that's the one time.
Couple inches.
A few inches helped her out. Like, God damn. I love that you have no context. It's my favorite thing.
No, you don't need context for this shit. Just think about this. We're talking about a man who takes pictures. Jim Ross takes pictures of his toes getting done with his small 60-year-old man bulge showing in the edge of it on Twitter.
That is true.
Fuck yeah.
That's the kind of guy we're talking about here. I don't need context when he's talking about diapers.
Would you rather listen to Jim Ross talk about his horniness, or would you rather listen to Jerry the King?
I would listen to Jim Ross Jerry Lawler talk about horniness or race.
Jerry Lawler talk about horniness.
I would say JR because it's funny and
JR talking about being horny is probably my favorite thing in this time period.
Yes, it's good.
It's great.
Because
it's so uncomfortable.
Because
it's like your fucking
Jerry
grandfather walking up and be like, "Hey,
the problem
you want to
is
see my hard on from this morning?" That's what it is.
The problem is that
so uncomfortable.
The problem is that it's sudden, and it's so fucking random, and you're just like, why?
And there's no like build up to it. It's just like, my dick's hard, and that's it. Like, you leave. It's that fast.
Jay Armour, dude. I feel like one time in the Trish match too earlier, y'all might have mentioned it. He was like, "Oh, I think Trish's top almost came off." I'm like, "What the fuck does that have to do?"
They mentioned that.
There's
it's
I'm not gonna read all of them because I have a lot of them, and it's just like a dead horse at this point. Of
Give
how
me
racist he
two
is.
with no context off the jump. Two of the best ones, no context.
I heard his grandmother knitted him a bulletproof vest.
Yo, listen.
That is.
I heard that shit, and I swear to God, I don't think I have ever laughed harder at anything anybody's ever said. Like, and it's the most racist shit ever. And I shouldn't even be saying I laughed at it. But
that's so bad.
Come on. What is wrong with that man, dude?
You think he's getting fed these lines, or you think that's actually Jerry?
No!
Jerry Lawler's at home.
Who else is thinking this shit?
Okay. So, like, listen.
I lost it.
The Discord asked one question, and y'all ready to kill me.
Listen, I don't like the shit he says, but it was such a random goddamn comment. I kind of laughed a little bit because I was like, "Where the fuck did that come from?"
So that's like, one. No. You have to give Ethan another.
God,
he did request two.
That's the worst one.
You know what I like about Christian? He's never been to prison. Can you say that about that sucker over there?
Oh, it's so bad.
Jesus.
And then Jim Ross is just like, well, he did go to prison. He was a dumb kid, and he fucking grew up past.
I just want to say, he also says that prison comment before the grandma one, so it's just like, we're like 7 quotes in, and then randomly he's like, grandma knitted him a bulletproof vest. I'm like, that doesn't even make fucking sense. But like, okay, dude.
All right.
This went on, I shit you not, for 15 goddamn minutes, and it is 15 too long.
Yeah, it certainly overstayed its welcome.
Oh
yeah. Casey, what did you? Does anybody else have anything that you want to add to? Because I don't want to go over 15 minutes of this fucking dog shit.
Yeah, there's no need to touch on this. It's
the same shit, different match.
Cortland, go ahead.
I got a question on it. So, beginning of this match, referee shows championship to both competitors, and Booker T takes the belt and flashes it to the crowd. How do y'all feel about Challenger touching the belt before he earns it?
So,
but did he not earn it before?
I just want to say he grabs that belt and he shows the crowd, and that crowd lost their motherfucking minds. They were so pumped about him holding that title.
I bet they got excited thinking it was going to be a good match.
Little did they know.
God, honestly. I will say, like, collectively, like, not this match in particular, but any match, like, doing that, I don't think it's the right thing to do, because it's like, it like takes away like the like presentation aspect of it. But like, in this one instance, I'm all for it because that crowd was like, "Fuck yes."
What if it's used to get heat on somebody though?
Yeah,
I didn't hate it.
Yeah,
I don't hate it. I just think that like I've always done like the whole old school shit. That's like, you don't touch a belt that's yours. You never lay your championship on the ground.
I don't.
Shit like that. And like, I even said it to him earlier tonight watching Dynamite. Like Sammy laying his belt on the ground telling someone to come get it. Like, and a lot of people do it. And, you know, like, I'm not completely knocking it, but it's just not for me. I've never enjoyed belt being on the ground or like a belt being thrown at somebody or anything like that. I hate that shit.
That's fair.
I don't know why.
Cortland, what'd you give it?
This match I gave 2 3/4. I thought that they wrestled really well. Booker T got all of his shit in. Christian did a really cool reverse DDT in this match. There's just little stuff in this match that are really cool, but I probably would have given it higher. However, they went to the well a lot with scissor kicks from Booker T. One too many is the demise of this match for me. But other than that, yeah, 2 3/4.
Pat, what'd you go, bud?
Look, listen to me. I was high when I rated this, so I'm gonna go to an actual.
No.
No.
I need to
No.
know what you have written down.
You tell me right now, you son of a bitch.
What did I say, Cortland? What did I say, Cortland? Cortland was like, "What do you rate it?" I said 3.5 stars. And then I listen.
That's what I said. I don't judge nobody.
Listen.
Go off.
And then I stopped myself, and I was like, "That's way too fucking high." Obviously,
Like
I'm
you
gonna
apparently
stay at 3 though.
gentlemen's 3.
That's fair. Casey, what'd you go?
I'm downright disrespectful with this match. First of all, this match was 10 minutes too long. This should not have been a 15-minute long match.
Yep.
I was tired by the end of this.
Yeah, I felt high as giraffe pussy after watching that.
I gave it a gentleman's 2 because it wasn't that. I thought it was an match to begin with, and I think the fact that it was so long, I was like, we did not like, even like you said, like this dragged for 15 minutes. Did not need it.
Ethan, I will give my rating first. I went 2.5, and I argued with myself 2.25, 2.5. I went 2.5. I think Cortland hit the nail on the head. It definitely just went to the well too many times. It overstayed its welcome, but it wasn't a bad match, all things considered. I just hate how tacky the ref bumps are at this time. But that's neither here nor there. Ethan, what'd you give it, bud?
I'm with Casey. I went 2 stars. I'm just tired of seeing Booker work from underneath, man. He should have been champion here, and they should have had Christian working from underneath. You know what I mean? I've had Booker as the babyface champion, and he overcome. Nothing thrilling about this. Nothing happy. Nothing good. It's just Booker getting beat down for 10 minutes, trying to come back, and then failing again. Even though it's on a lower level show, it's just boring, man.
Yeah.
This dude needs his due.
I will say my 2.5 here is the highest rated match that I have on the card. So, yeah, it was nice knowing you guys.
All right.
I will say that 2 stars is the highest I've rated a match on this card. So,
God damn. So after this, we get a little segment with Stone Cold and Theodore Long, and it ends up just to cut it short. It basically just ends up having Stone Cold letting everyone know that Theodore Long is going to be a part of a tag match later on in the evening, where he's not a wrestler. Doesn't matter, but he's not a wrestler.
Does not look the part.
Oh God, it's so bad. But yeah, basically it goes from it being Rodney Mack and Chris Nowitzki versus the Dudley Boys. Add in Spike, add in Theodore Long, and then after that happens, Theodore Long stomps away, and then when Stone Cold's getting ready to leave, he runs into Kane.
This is the best line of the show, Casey. Austin looks up at Kane, says, "You got a problem with me?" And then Kane just walks off.
That's the end of the interaction.
So
now, Casey, tell us what that stemmed from.
So I had posted the reel of it on our Instagram. If you haven't seen it, go there, follow us. I appreciate it.
Up and over pod.
Up and over pod. After a tag match, with RVD and Kane versus La Resistance, Kane gets rolled up super simply. Stone Cold comes out and is fucking pissed. He excuses RVD from the ring. He's like, "You can leave now." And he just verbally assaults Kane, just being like, "What the fuck is the matter with you?" He tries to inspire and metaphorically light the fire inside of Kane. He's putting Kane's hand on his throat, and he's like, "What would you do if I did this?"
Do it. Yeah.
And he's like, Kane's not doing anything. He is really fucking mad. He smacks him. He's like, it's really great work. He ends up getting Kane to the point to where he's gonna choke slam him, and he's like, "Do it." He doesn't. Stone Cold gets super mad, just gives him the fucking nastiest Stone Cold stunner, and then walks off. So we got that happen, and then he just punks out Kane in the fucking hallway, just like, "You got a problem?"
Oh, I love it so much.
And Kane turns his head and walks away like a bitch.
The funniest part about the whole thing is that at this time they're doing polls on WWE.com.
Well, those are my favorite.
And they did a poll was Stone Cold justified in stunning Kane, and it was fucking 70% yes. And JR was like, "Jesus." Because he was like, "God damn, he stunned him. He was so uncalled for." And the whole crowd was like, "Yeah, that was great. Do it again."
Yeah, he's kind of a piece of shit. Do your job, Kane, you fucking big bastard.
You big
I thought
bitch.
it was cool though that in that segment on Raw that Stone Cold mentioned that Kane beat him at Bad Blood in a First Blood match.
Because he was like, He was like, "Where's the Kane that whipped my ass in a first blood match at bat?" Like he
took my title.
Yeah, he's like, where was this badass at? And he's like, because you're just acting kind of like a pussy right now. Like he doesn't say that, but like that's how he's like acting towards it. It was a really great thing. Like I said, I put something a little together for you on our Instagram, so you should watch it. But then we get straight into Kane and RVD versus Ethan.
Favorite team.
Ethan, how do you say it?
How do you say it?
I've been practicing this now, y'all. Y'all got to get ready to clip this for the real.
Hold up, baby. What you got, baby?
No, Pat. You fucking ruined it, Pat. You fuck.
I'll do it again for you. La resistance.
There it is.
Oh, the goddamn resistance.
I still prefer you said it. Goddamn resistant. I don't like them apostrophes.
There's a lot of resistance.
Oh, I did want to put in a note because I had to wrote it down in that segment on Raw. Stone Cold calls Kane lackadaisical, and it just made me laugh. I was like, "That's not a word this motherfucker uses." Oh God. So we do something interesting in this match, and we do it again in another match. They bring up the fact that up until this point, La Resistance is undefeated.
Oh man,
I'm gonna give you a second to figure out who loses this match. It's goddamn La Resistance. What's the point of talking about them being undefeated and that being an accomplishment if you're just gonna defeat them on a pay-per-view that no one's gonna watch?
I get right that nobody can watch because they're fucking idiots. I get it if it's a big match moment, like, oh, he hasn't defeated him, or like he's undefeated. But like this was like a fucking mid-card ass cheeks match. It was very mediocre. Kane had one great hot tag moment, and the UK crowd really did love some Big Red Machine. But otherwise, this was very far from special.
I'll say
that's all I got to say about that.
This was better than the La Resistance match at whatever the last Judgment Day.
I mean, it's fucking La Resistance.
Yes. Rob Van Dam and Kane are fun, at least.
Rob Van Dam and Kane versus
fucking meatheads.
Although I will touch on it later. Like it,
I went the same rating on both.
What did I do?
I went the same rating on both.
I don't know.
There's no way, buddy.
Cortland, what you got?
You broken fuck. Sorry.
For that match, I gave it 2.5.
You got anything that you wanted to cover on it?
Not a whole lot. He does, his spots. Kane does his typical big man stuff: sidewalk slam, big boot choke slam. We get a double choke slam, where the legal man of La Resistance stays in the ring, takes frog splash, 5-star frog splash from RVD, creating the pin. I enjoyed anytime that Kane would lift his arms and the fucking fire from the ring would pop off, and RVD wouldn't be ready for it, and that
he'd always be scared. Jesus,
because it would always be like you'd see him like look and like see if he's paying attention or some shit. And if he wasn't, he would just do it like a little bit faster than usual, and he'd be like, "Shit." I always enjoyed that, but yeah, other than that, there's not a whole lot to hold on in this match.
Did you?
I think it's some of the best that Kane's done in the last couple months that I've seen.
Did you catch JR miscalling a flapjack again?
I did.
He keeps doing it, and I'm like,
Ethan's so happy.
And I'm like, it's not a flapjack. Like, you should know this.
Flapjack.
He's like, oh, there's a flapjack. It's not a fucking flapjack.
I think that's one of those things where JR just likes saying that word.
I think so.
Anything near it, he's gonna call it a flapjack.
So I think there's an actual flapjack spot later on, and he's like, "Oh, it's a one-man flapjack."
Yeah, that's what he said. Yep.
This match went 9 minutes and 3 seconds.
That's fine. It somehow went shorter than the match after this, which was fucking bad.
Mike, what did you give this match?
I went a flat 2, and I almost threw up doing it.
Oh man,
Even?
But you gave Tess and Scott Steiner versus La Resistance 2 last month.
I gave it 2. Yeah.
I went a star and a quarter on that. I went 2 on this.
Yeah, we were unkind to that Scott Steiner match.
It was dog shit, man. I was trying to bring where's the mesh at, bro? You know what I'm talking about? That shit you used to wear.
God damn.
It's sexy for me, Big Papa.
It shows RVD is the only cool thing about that match to me.
Yeah, I always like the rating.
What'd you go on up, Pat?
2 stars. Yeah.
Cortland, did you say your rating earlier or no?
Yeah, I gave it 2.5. I think. Yeah, 2.5.
It gets a kind of deserved 2.25.
Okay.
Well, 5 stars in the Tokyo Dome.
Y'all. I'm hitting singles here.
We then get probably one of my favorite moments of this entire fucking pay-per-view, and that's Al Snow interviewing Goldust.
What a choice.
They cut to fucking Al Snow, and I was like, what the fuck is happening right now?
He's just smiling, dude.
We're
He's
still
having the time of his life.
We still have Tourette's.
He's having the time of his life. Yeah, Tourette's Goldust was certainly a time.
My dad loved that shit too.
Dude, it's so funny, man.
Goldust.
I paused it and rewound that once, like that one area, like that. Yeah, that one segment probably 4 or 5 times. What does he say?
I don't know.
It's something halfway horny. He's like, dick, or something like that. He's talking about something specific, and he's just like, whoop his ass. Yeah, I'm gonna whoop his ass. It's just such a weird moment.
I want to tell you all this right now. I have one thing written for this entire match. It's Rico versus Goldust. It goes, and I wish I was making this shit up. It goes 9 minutes and 53 seconds.
55 seconds.
Yeah, it is.
I don't recall the last time I've fallen asleep watching a match, but it almost happened like 7 times. This was...
Dude, I wish I could have watched you fall asleep to this shit.
I was dying watching this. I was like, there's no way I'm going to make it. I don't remember almost any of it because it's that bad. It is.
This is where the You Screwed Brett happened, though.
It happens again.
Well, I wrote it down for you. So,
I'm sorry.
Rico's out first in the exact suit they used for SmackDown Shut Your Mouth, the video game. And this is like, I think, a little bit after that.
Hold on, real quick. Rico has an underrated song, bro.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, he does.
You look so good. Good to me.
Okay, real quick, I need to interrupt y'all because Goldust says you can expect the unexpected. I faced Rico tonight, and I'm gonna beat the tally-whack, whack, tally-ho out of this man. Fuck, and Al Snow's face is fucking crazy. He's like,
where did they pull Al Snow from for this?
I don't care. This segment was the best segment on this whole fucking pay-per-view. He said, I'm going to beat the tally-whack, whack. They just got...
Whack.
Tally-whack, whack. Like, what a mess. Can we clip that for this week?
Oh, we're going to.
No, either left.
You can stitch my shit and Goldust.
Tally-whack,
whack.
This was something else.
I gotta watch that again while y'all talk about it.
All right. So, there's a really cool shot for Goldust's entrance. It's all the way behind the ring, kind of from like original announcers tables. It's a really sick shot. I have that written down. There's a lot of "You Screwed Brett" chants for Earl Hebner tonight. It seemed to show up first in this match. It seems like Rico's calling this match, which is kind of awkward. I figured that Goldust would be the vet in that situation. Goldust doesn't look so hot, especially in selling. There's near fall after near fall that fall flat. Rico misses a moonsault, and they even mention for, I feel like the first time maybe ever, that Goldust is Dusty Rhodes' son. And it was right as he landed a bulldog. He's like, Dusty's son lands a bulldog, some shit like that. For a long 2, there's 10 punches in the corner that Goldust audibly like He like audibly does his
Dude,
like the gimmick of Tourette's.
Goldust
Like,
Tourette's shit.
like every punch, ha, ha. Dude, it's so funny. It's so funny, man.
Goldust, like, listen, Dustin Rhodes is
Dude.
severely underrated.
He's underappreciated as shit.
oh,
I
yeah.
think,
I
and I
mean,
want to jump in really fast.
God.
I feel like
yeah.
to what you had said, Cortland. I feel like because it's Dustin and Goldust is in this match, and like this is kind of one of the first times that Rico's like kind of by himself. Like they had made a comment that like he recently just left 3-minute warning, like he like left them alone. So like I feel like they're almost kind of like using this match as like a hey, like let's see how you can do, because like Goldust can do whatever the fuck. He's been around long enough. He's a solid worker. So I almost feel like they were like, hey, like you call this match and like I'll just carry us through it. But it didn't work.
I just want to cover. I want to
to
cover the small shit that I have written down. The small things. Firstly, why is Rico dressed like he should be in the Yakuza video games or a background character for Death Jam Vendetta? Secondly, this shit sucked. Goldust Power Slam ruled. That's what I have.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was the big thing about this finish, that they did a power slam that Goldust does every single time he wrestles. It is picture perfect. It's hard to think of anybody else who does it better than him and Randy Orton. And that's just my opinion.
Nah,
Tell Cody Rhodes that, man. He'll do it every fucking week.
he said better. He said better.
Yeah, it's not that good.
Cody's got to set a table on fire to make it good.
Did he look like shit tonight?
He always looks
Yeah.
like shit.
So I gave this match a gentleman's 2.
Oh Lord, Cortland.
I gave it 2.
Cortland, what are you doing here, bud?
I know it's the holiday season, but like, you gotta be just generous.
I wanted to give this match a 1.5 stars. But when it comes down to Goldust doing 10 punches and stuttering through them, I give it a 0.5 star.
That's
That's fair enough.
That's fair. That's fair. Casey, what'd you give it?
That was one of the first times that I had laughed this whole pay-per-view. Like, dude, I fucking laughed. It's so
Casey, what'd you give it?
good.
So I want to just mention the only thing I wrote for this match was It's just like it was a match, I guess. You don't have to give it a 1.5 stars, but I'm going to. It was I don't understand why this match felt like it was a 60-man Iron Man match. Like I was so tired watching this, and it dragged on for so fucking long. And I don't feel like it should
pay-per-view did. Pat, what did you
It's just not good.
I gave this match 1 3/4, bro. Look, I will say this because you just said it, and I agree with you. Goldust's Tourette's shit was probably the most out of pocket fucking storyline.
Awesome.
Does
And
anyone
like, did it in the back one day? And Vince was like, "I'm not doing shit."
It was
Next
the
Friday.
funniest shit.
I was gonna
When he's
ask,
like,
does
dude,
anyone
like-
remember where this started? Because I don't.
Yes,
I
I do.
Okay.
I do remember.
Okay.
I do. I've been watching the
Electric
shows,
box
brother.
Yes.
after.
Yeah, he gets thrown into an electrical box, gets shocked, and then
Okay. I remember now.
The first time we see it is
Oh,
at that
fucking!
interview with
Who
Jay
wrote
Long.
this? Who wrote it?
Your boys, man.
My fucking boys?
Yeah,
Me.
man.
Probably Gourds.
Noted.
The
Me,
Fed,
bro.
Dude,
Probably
do any of
good.
you guys remember the shocking though? Do you guys ever remember him getting electrocuted?
Now
when
that
he
you
did
like
say
it
it,
right now. I
it's
did a
like a
gif of it.
deep memory, but like.
Let me
Go
roll
like
my
hands.
Hand way over here, body
Yo.
out here. Just doing this.
Yo,
Fucking awesome.
I
The
jiffed it, bro.
still of this is fucking crazy. Hold on. No. Hold the fucking phone. Y'all are
God
getting this
damn it,
motherfucker.
dude. Oh god, this is the fucking just. I could not believe
Drink
we
that
sat
shit
through
in,
this.
fellas. Check the group chat. Enjoy it while you can. It's popping through right now.
On his knees,
Ethan.
forehead on the wall.
Ethan, what'd you give this?
It's the first match to break the 2-star trend. It's a 1 3/4.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about higher.
Oh no, buddy, nothing breaks 2 stars on this show.
I feel real bad about what I gave this now. I went 1 flat. This fucking sucked ass cheeks. It was so fucking bad, dude. It was horrible. This was terrible. I was like, man, maybe Rico is one of those hidden gems. And then I watched this match and I'm like, wow, I would do anything to never watch that motherfucker wrestle. Ever. It was terrible. Moving forward, we had a beautiful tribute to the late Freddie Blassie.
Yeah, so
we have
in the Raw, shut up. In the go home Raw that happened the week prior, they get like a notice an hour into Raw that Freddie Blassie had passed.
Wow.
They're like in the middle of like, I don't even remember what they were exactly doing, but it was like randomly, like JR's like, oh, just so everyone knows, like we just got told that Freddie passed like an hour ago. And then you get a really nice, touching little tribute to him.
You get a beautiful one there. Then we have Chris Jericho's highlight reel. Chris Jericho comes down to the ring.
Forever.
This was
my
the
favorite part of this
thing on this
my favorite part of
whole
this
2 matches
is we get a Fozzy suck, not Fozzy sucks, but Fozzy suck sign in the crowd. And I wrote, buddy, if only you knew what Fozzy would be 18 years from then. That everybody in every arena Chris Jericho's ever in sings one of their songs.
In all fairness, he's a one-hit wonder. Like, name me one, 2-hit? What other song?
Break the Walls Down.
Was that his?
Like the remaster one is. Like
really?
The new one.
Wow.
Isn't that his vocal track over it?
I have no idea.
That doesn't count. I want to say...
Jericho got his cheap heat moments on the mic and eventually brings out his guest, Eric Bischoff. They both talk shit to the English crowd, and out comes old Stone Cold. He and Bischoff go back and forth about their 50-50 co-GM, and Austin says he's changed the Kevin Nash Triple H main event to a street fight. They all drink a beer. Stone Cold stuns Jericho and then stuns Bischoff.
Awesome stuff. Good stuff.
It was great.
Do we need to linger on this?
A couple of quick
We went
things.
to 20 pints. How much liquid is that?
1 pint. 3 pints. 20 pints.
He makes I forgot what he exactly says, but he says something that actually makes Jericho laugh, like in the segment, which was very funny to me because I was like, he broke character, like, and that seems almost impossible.
Yeah. He said he bought one of his shirts at the merch table, and then he said
because he's out of toilet paper. And
hold on.
He's like, I bought one of your shirts at the gimmick stand because they're at toilet paper. And Chris Jericho actually fucking laughed, and I was like, that is not easy to do.
Real quick, 20 pints, 3 gallons worth of beer. No big deal, just casual.
Not shocking. Pat?
That's what I was gonna say.
Okay.
3 gallons.
So
Liquid gallons,
he drank it all.
2 real quick things. One, during the highlight reel, JR calls Bischoff a stool sample. Yeah, don't really know why that was so funny to me, but I was like, it was like, we're just like, JR's just on a different fucking planet at this point.
Stool samples and diapers tonight.
Stool samples and diapers. Also, on the Raw, before this, because at this point in time, Jericho's feuding with Goldberg. He fucks with Goldberg's car, and Goldberg goes on this like wild goose chase to go find him. Jericho and Christian end up getting put into a tag match, and at the end of that match, Goldberg comes out, attempts to spear Jericho. Jericho moves out of the way, and Charles Robinson takes the nastiest fucking spear I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, he gets folded in half in the air and then like lands on his fucking head. He gets fucking drilled, and I was like, I have to let someone know that this happened because he gets fucking murdered. But this is a goddamn Royal Rumble length long highlight reel. It is so fucking long.
It's really long.
It's long. But dude,
it's good.
What are we doing if this whole card, you look at all, like, we're gonna get to it, but like your co-main is Steiner and Test. You have that as your co-main, but you have Shawn Michaels and Chris Jericho in the same building right now, and you're not gonna give me that? Like, you can't give me that. You're going to give me a fucking 20-plus minute highlight reel?
We don't give a fuck about the UK crowd, brother.
No, we don't. And the next match proves that.
And blue, they can suck my ball sack.
So we have...
We're not there yet.
So we get the extended trilogy version of the Lord of the Rings episode of the highlight reel straight into Teddy Long, Rodney Mack.
We get Triple H and Ric Flair.
Oh, we get Triple H.
About the street fight
My brain fucking hurts at this point.
And this tonight. There you go.
Ric
now
Flair,
we can move on to.
Ric Flair's spazzing out, dude.
Oh, Jesus.
Ric Flair is fucking mine.
In all fairness.
Foreshadowing him being one of the only good things about the main event.
In all fairness.
Yeah, that boy bleeds like a...
We have a pay-per-view.
Stuck pig, bro.
Like a stuck pig, bro.
We have a pay-per-view, and then literally a week to the day, we have another pay-per-view where Kevin Nash and fucking Triple H are in a Hell in a Cell. But before we get to that, we have to put them through a street fight match. It makes no fucking sense logically at all why we're doing this. But like, I guess it's like, well, we went to fucking England. We might as well.
Give them a show, boy.
Oh, God. And now we got a 6-man tag.
Mm-hmm. The Dudley Boys versus Rodney Mack, Christopher Nowinski, and Theodore Long. And Dudley Boys does include Spike Dudley. Devon and Rodney Mack start this match. Quick pin attempts by both. There's a really long wait for someone to catch me outside spot per usual. There's a double flapjack from Bubba and Devon to Nowinski. What's up headbutt to Rodney Mack. Spike pins Teddy after Mack accidentally hits Long. Post-match, Harvard boy gets a 3D through a table. That's essentially it. This match, star and 3/4. It's not great.
9 minutes.
The entire match was
seconds.
built up for Theodore Long to take a bump, and it was his own partner, Rodney Mack, that took him out. 1.5 stars. I'm done talking about it.
I have a JR quote. Or not JR. I'm sorry, we have a Lawler quote. It's racist.
Oh, great.
Sorry, JR, I had to sneeze. There's a lot of international fans here. Met a Chinese fan this morning and she sneezed in my face. I might have mad SARS disease.
He said mad SARS disease.
Yeah, he did.
He said mad SARS disease.
Does Jerry Lawler just spend his time thinking about how racist he can be?
Yes.
Like, dude, you're old,
also,
you're greasy.
I might be the only person. I had no recollection who the fuck Rodney Mack was. I ended up finding out that he was a part of the Baldies, and I was like, hey, I was like, I remember that part of him, but like, I don't remember him during this time at all. God, this was. Why was this 9 minutes?
I don't know.
It's too long.
It's way too long. But in the 3D through the table afterwards, he gives him no fucking momentum, and Devon hoists that boy up. Like, he went fucking sky high, and he had no momentum. He didn't jump, and you, like, see Devon notice it, and he's like, fuck you, and just throws him.
Devon was like, you're going through this table.
I don't know if you knew this, but I'm not botching this in front of these fucking pieces of dog shit. They've had a terrible night as it is.
The match,
this is the highlight.
Team 3D hadn't even gotten into the ring by the time that the crowd was chanting, we want tables. They were like, someone's getting put through a table, or we're having a fucking...
This match was June.
Yeah. If he didn't get put through that table, we were going to have a riot. Like, Devon was like,
fist fighting.
By
the
hook or
easiest
crook.
thing would have been... The easiest thing would have been is to just have this match go the way it is, but at the end, instead of Nowinski going through it, do Teddy Long spot, do the power bomb from the turnbuckle that so many women have taken safely as hell. And if you watch those back, Bubba lands on his ass to the table every time.
Oh, yeah.
No one is going through this table. Like, he's not truly trying to hurt you. I think that's one of the safest spots that you can take in wrestling. It's a Bubba bomb from Bubba Ray Dudley. Like, you're probably no hands that you're safer in the table spot than him. In my opinion.
I mean, Mae Young's taken that spot like 7 times. So
crowd,
she's dead
that
now.
crowd's gonna fucking that crowd would have ate that shit up.
Yep.
Especially if he got more involved in the Jazz Trish Stratus match. That crowd eat it. That crowd want him to get put through a table later. And then you give it to him. Man, that crowd would have been on their fucking feet.
Mm-hmm.
Pat, what'd you give this?
But no.
Bro, what I give it?
Yeah.
1.5 stars, bro. That shit's ass.
Ethan?
I love the Dudley Boys. I don't like to ever rate anything that they do low, but like I could give a shit less, man. After the match was the best part about it. Teddy Long is please never ever go. Don't put Teddy Long in no more matches. As long as I ain't watching that, I'm fine. Jesus fucking Christ, that shit was god awful.
Ethan, would you go?
Oh. Rodney Mack, I have this written down. Rodney Mack does a pump handle slam at one point and literally lands on his face. And I think it fucks him up, rings his bell. Because he does it and then stands up and falls right back down. But I mean, it was like...
All right. Ethan, would you go?
1.75 stars.
Same.
Casey, would you? Okay, well,
Moving
I
on.
went 1.5 stars. I went 1.5 stars. I'm really glad that we just wasted as much time talking about this piece of dog shit that we did.
And can we not take time talking about this next match?
Oh, no. We're going to take the time for
No.
We get Scott Steiner versus Test. Valveena. Oh, well, yeah. Well, Valveena comes out. He's your special guest referee. Then Stacy Keibler comes.
Where? When?
It makes no sense.
It showed one horny UK girl in the crowd.
They didn't, is the thing. There's no mention of him being on the Raw. There's no mention in the pay-per-view. He just comes out because they were like, fuck it, Chief Morley's here. We got to get all the UK girls all horny.
Yeah.
So
he's still a better ref.
Call it right down the middle.
I'll say something. I'll say something controversial. I still feel like Valveena is still a better ref than half the refs on the roster, though. He's a very bipartial ref. He does call that shit down the middle.
Whatever, right? Stacy Keibler comes down. She announces everybody, like the Scott Steiner and Test, into the match. Jim Ross said 41.5-inch legs. Not that I've measured them. I heard it on television. And I'm still confused as to how Jim Ross is the horniest human when he is in the UK.
JR then, when Scott Steiner comes out, goes, do you think Steiner makes Stacy holler if she hears him?
I loved that.
Yeah. And I was just I don't like horny JR no more.
Yeah. JR gets mad when Tess interrupts Stacy doing the rope, like
my God
again.
He goes, dude, oh my gosh, she was gonna do it again.
Yeah, damn him, damn that Tess. Like, Jesus Christ, dude.
Anyway,
God,
this fucking sucked. Stacy stops Tess from using a steel chair. Steiner hits a reverse STO for the pinfall. I don't want to talk about this very long. Star and a quarter. I could have taken a shit. That was better than this fucking match.
This went 6. This is once again the co-main event. It goes 6 minutes and 49 seconds.
At least it didn't overstay its welcome. 15 fucking minutes for Christian and Booker T. I was I'm going to bed. I'm tired.
I'm just glad that they kept this storyline. Like, because I hate both of them together. Like, as individuals, but together with Stacy involved, I don't really hate the storyline. I'm like, fuck it. Let them all be horny for her. Who cares? Like, it's getting them out of it. They're not in a title contention at this point. So, like, it's not hurting it's not hurting anyone. Just let them have their fun in the corner.
You tell me. You fought. As WWE, you fought to get Scott Steiner to sign.
Yes.
I'm leaving it alone. Let's move along. 1.25 stars.
Start court.
Are we just going to do 1.25 stars all the way around? Is that fair?
That's just
I literally gave this match.
That's all right. I understand it.
It does not deserve that quarter from me. I do not give a shit about either of them.
You're trying to tell me that horny JR doesn't deserve that?
I don't care.
Horny JR deserves at least that quarter.
I would have given this a higher rating if they would have had JR down there measuring Stacy's legs. Let's be honest.
just him in the side leg.
You want a 2-star from me, buddy? Get your ass down there with the measuring stick. See if it's really 41.5 inches.
He has to come back up and be like, I don't really know the measurements because we're in the UK, so it's in meters, it's not in inches.
Mike, you don't like this shit, man? What you looking at?
I'm looking to see when Rodney Mack spiked himself on his fucking head.
Well, we got to the match that we all came here to see.
Oh,
the only reason why we're watching this godforsaken pay-per-view.
No. It's not the only
We should
fucking
have just done
reason.
bad blood.
We should have done it.
Oh, for real.
No.
I was hoping if I watched it early enough, I can like plead my case that we could like not do this, but then like I kind of forgot. So here we are. I was like, maybe we could just skip this one, but I was like, no. Technically, he defends the title, and we decided we were going to do the whole Reign of Terror, and this unfortunately counts. So we get fucking Triple H versus Kevin Nash in a street fight match. And it starts out with, and I just want to I don't understand why we keep doing this. And this has been a thing that's been going on even up until recently. Triple H has Flair in his corner. Shawn Michaels is in Nash's corner. But then Earl Hebner tells us that if either one of them interfere in a street fight match, that they'll be ejected from the match. And I'm like, there's no rules to the match. Who the fuck cares if they interject? Because
I can't tell you how many street fights I've seen people jump in my life.
Exactly. I want to play a very fun game with you guys.
Oh.
And it's how fast into the match does Ric Flair cut himself open?
90 seconds.
90 seconds?
I'll go 46 seconds.
46 seconds.
Pat?
I'm going 52 seconds.
I'm gonna say 1.5 minutes.
90.
From Bell, it is 1 minute and 38 seconds.
Jesus.
There's match starts. There's a stare down. Eventually it gets spilled out into the outside. Rick gets involved. Shawn chases him around. Mm-hmm. They go to the other side. Shawn throws Flair into the steel pole, and he fucking just stabs the ever-living shit out of his forehead and is bleeding so aggressively. Once again, a minute and
he's not even in.
For a match, he's not even in.
It doesn't matter.
1 minute and 30 seconds in, he is
for Triple H, baby.
I believe for the fucking Reign of Terror.
It's so fast and so much that even JR is like, is he already bleeding? Like, it's that fast.
It seriously makes the point of how I view this match. To me, this is how I'm going to view it for my own sake and not being a negative Nancy. This match, this was Shawn Michaels versus Ric Flair in a street fight with Triple H and Kevin Nash in the background doing something. That's how I view this match. Because the only good thing about it was the Shawn and Rick shit. They were bumping, they were selling, they were gushing.
What's insane is that he gets busted, he blades like a soundbitch. They then get ejected from the match, and then an actual match takes place for like, how long is this thing? For fucking probably about 14 minutes, and then eventually they come back out again because Ric Flair tries to interject, and then Shawn comes in a minute later. And then they just keep fighting.
World title match.
It was such a clusterfuck.
How fast is that blade job, though?
Dude, he hits the ground.
It's so fast.
He goes under the ring, and it's like he just does this.
I got you.
Right up. It's like 3.
It's
you can see
pole floor. He lands
seconds, and he's covered.
Yeah.
5 seconds from hitting the pole to literally being like, and he's leaking.
He is bleeding so much.
What a fucking piece of shit, but what a god.
And then just fucking smacked his head one good time. Because, like, dude, You can watch TNA promos of Ric Flair, and he's just cutting a promo in fucking suit, and he just fucking
Hits
slaps
himself
his head, and old scars just start fucking opening.
Just start
That's
tearing
it,
open.
bud.
Whoa.
That's it, bud. He's got fucking paper skin.
There's nothing pretty about this match. Fucking everyone takes bumps. Fucking there's 3 refs get assaulted in this match. Fucking
Yeah.
Fucking yeah.
Let me break it down for you real quick though. So you said HBK and Flair are ejected. Nash does a flat back to the game on the steel ramp that looks devastating. Nash finds a chair somehow that meets Triple H at the ramp. Finally back to the ring for a boring ass another elbow drop from Nash.
The chair. Triple H goes to the back. It's a crazy spot. That's why I remember, because Triple H literally goes to the back, comes back, and it's like he's not even in the shot yet. You just see Kevin Nash throw a punch, and Triple H comes into the shot. Boom, chair's flying. Fucking chair's flying. Kevin Nash takes up the chair. Shit's cool. Good spot.
Triple H finally gets control back in the ring from after a low blow. He's working Nash's knee. Triple H does a scary corner spot where he gets Irish whip, falls to the outside. A headshot from Nash from the steps. Refs down again. Low blow to Nash. Rick's back. Chair shot to Nash. Double team on Triple H hits the new ref. HBK's back. Sweet Chin music to Rick. Triple H brings in a sledgehammer, but HBK slows him down, but catches a pedigree for his troubles. Nash lands a jackknife on Triple H. Rick pulls the third referee, Charles Robinson, from inside the ring out. Nash attempts a jackknife on Rick, but a sledgehammer catches him. That's your 1, 2, 3. Triple H retains, making this insurrection over, and it means absolutely nothing in character building, story development. They spent so much money for nothing.
Yeah.
And I have now wasted our time and your time.
I also just want to say they fly all these people out. They make this an event. They don't figure out that the arena that they're in cannot handle the pyro, because 90% of this match is 16 godforsaken minutes long. And for half of that, you could barely see anything because fucking Big Daddy Cool's pyro just blankets the crowd in smoke. It's just a constant haze. I don't understand why this happened.
What'd you give this match, Pat?
Honestly,
you go first. Yeah.
2 3/4. Look.
The look of horror on Mike's face.
Look. The match itself.
Diarrhea. Awful.
Half a star, man. 1 star, half a star. Everything that happened in this 20 fucking minutes was entertaining, dude.
Oh, entertaining.
Like, it was entertaining as fuck. So yeah, I give it that for that reason.
I'm stunned. I'll go next. I give it a star and 3/4 because this match fucking sucked. Nothing good about it other than Ric Flair cutting his fucking face open. The old bastard.
Oh my god.
Dude, there's small spots in this that are good for me. Like Triple H
drop on the fucking
back
ramp
drop.
Was sick.
Yeah, on the ramp is very cool. And he also, Triple H takes one of, if not the best jackknife powerbomb ever. Because he knows when to let his body go limp, because he knows Nash is just going to drop him. It's not your typical powerbomb or last ride. He gets you just up enough to let you go, and he backs up.
I don't understand why.
Timing.
But yeah,
it looks cool when it's done right, and Triple H knows how to land it right, and it just looks cool when he does it.
It just looks like he gets him up all the way, and he's like, "Oh fuck, you're heavy, Nick. Lets you go." Like it's
yeah, which is cool. It's kind of cool. I mean, it's better than like I can't think of the rest. Maybe it's Sid Vicious I'm thinking of that like throws you up and like takes those fucking steps with you and like just like
eats you.
bites you the fucking ground.
Yeah, I think that was because Sid and the Razor Edge are the same, but yeah.
I'm not a big fan of that. I think that the jackknife, it's more believable to me. You're picking up a 250, potentially 300-pound person. Of course, you're not gonna be able to fucking throw them up on your shoulder, lift them higher than your fucking head, and walk with them. Like it's unrealistic. Throw that dude up, get him up as what seems to be as high as you can get him, and you just fucking let him go. And that's good shit to me.
Broke old Paul White's neck doing it.
He's not a good wrestler.
Couldn't get him all the way up. Casey, what'd you go on this?
Gave it 2.5. I mean, it's the little things in this where I'm just like, you gotta give. I mean, Flair's a piece of shit, but like he almost died. Like that dude almost bled to death. Was I
that exhausted at the end of this? Where I was just like,
yes, you were. You've had a long day. It has nothing to do with this match at all. It's just from the Raw previous. It is the worst finish of a match I've ever fucking seen in my entire life. You had Triple H, Flair, and Randy Orton versus Kevin Nash, Shawn Michaels, and the Hurricane.
Yeah.
And Randy goes for a cover, goes 1, 2. Hebner goes to check the Hurricane's shoulders, and then just goes, ring the bell. And the entire he literally does like the hand slide that they do, and then was just like, doesn't count to 3, just goes, ring the bell. That's it. And the whole crowd lost their fucking mind. Like, San Diego was pissed as shit. They were like, what? And I was like, I had to watch it. They were just so confused because they were like, that was a 3 count? Everything revolving around up until this point, because obviously I haven't watched this Hell in a Cell coming up next week in a while. Everything up until this point is horrible. There's like a bunch of like behind the scenes shit that's like really cool. Like they had the power bomb on the announcers table last week, and then you have, fucking Ric Flair literally cutting his fucking head open this week. But like once again, on paper, like this should just be better than it is, and it's not. It's sad.
Yeah, it is sad.
Ethan, what'd you give this?
Next week. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Between a star and 3/4 and 2. I don't know. I gave it 2 at first just because Shawn and fucking Ric Flair were great. I mean, the work H and Nash did nothing for me. It was just so uninspired, and they did nothing to make me be like, oh fuck yeah, this is a title match. They're going for it. It was just like they're in there moving around doing shit. Flair and Shawn Michaels, like they was fighting for their damn lives, dude. But yeah, 2 stars, I guess.
Or did you give yours?
Do what?
Did you give yours?
Give your rating or no?
I don't think I did. I think I went 2.5.
Oh, okay. Well,
it's fine.
This match, this whole pay-per-view is exhausting.
Kind of understand why we no longer did these anymore.
Yeah, it all made sense. Oh, fellas. Anything else you want to add before we wrap this thing up? I could bust it, Court can bust it, however you want to do it.
Bad Blood next week, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Bad Blood, way better.
Bad Blood 2003. I love this. I don't really remember this pay-per-view as much, but I do remember loving the pay-per-views Bad Blood as a kid. So I'm really excited to revisit it. I always loved the entrance of it.
We get I'm not going to go over the whole card, but we do get a redneck triathlon between Stone Cold and Eric Bischoff.
Yep.
Not to give you where it is on the card, but it is your co-main.
Oh, God.
And then we get a 21-minute match between Triple H and Kevin Nash. Now, mind you, this is 8 days after this pay-per-view that we just watched, right? Insurrextion.
Yeah.
8 days later, you have Bad Blood.
the card is exactly the same, man.
Yeah, it's like it's
that's why I was saying this is literally a house show pay-per-view Raw. It's like all the mush together because it was like basically most house shows are kind of what you're going to get for what's to come. So it was just like a test run, but we also just
Sean and Rick though.
We do get Sean and Rick, so that is a highlight.
We get fucking Goldberg, Chris Jericho.
We get Sean and Rick. We get Sean and Rick. We get Goldberg and Chris Jericho, and we get a Hell in a Cell match. It makes up for the fact that we had to watch this.
We'll see if it makes up for the fact. That's the thing.
Steiner and Test again, baby. Don't forget Steiner and Test one more time, baby.
Oh, man. Let's see if they can make it
the second match on the pay-per-view. At least that's the second match on the pay-per-view. It's all right. We'll take that.
All right, y'all. Let's wrap it up.
All right, boys. Let's get out of here. Check us out tonight. I imagine we're dropping this Friday. Check us out tonight, immediately following AEW Rampage at Pro Wrestling Truth live stream on YouTube. Me, Mike, myself, and Ethan will be there talking all things AEW current. Check us out there. Like I said, Pro Wrestling Truth. Follow Up and Over Podcast on Instagram. Follow us on Apple Music, Spotify, anywhere you find your podcast. We deeply appreciate all of your support, and soon we'll have ads to help us get further along and reach more people. Hopefully you're listening to this at work or around friends that enjoy pro wrestling or casual fans of wrestling. Spread the word, and we appreciate you being here with us. I'm Cortland. This is my forever tag team partner, Patty Mills.
Yes.
Ethan Lewis, the ever so sweet Florence God, Casey El Gordo, and the ever loving, no longer big money. He is Mike.
Just
thank you so much.
Just Mike.
Podcast.
Good night.